Hey, what is going on guys, RvzStealth here, and in today's video we're going to be breaking down the S tier champions for every single role for patch 9.18. So starting things off in the top lane, looking pretty similar to where it was in last patch. Pantheon is going to be moving up into S tier for 9.18 though. Pantheon did get some buffs, it was 2 patches ago now, but ever since those changes, he's slowly but surely been getting stronger in solo queue. People have been figuring out how to play the champion now after the rework. He does tend to do pretty well into the other bruiser top laners at the moment, so things like Jax, Fiora, Mordekaiser, Renekton. He's got a positive win rate against all those champions at the moment, so he is finding some pretty good success right now in the top lane. Now as for the build there, Trinity Force into Black Cleaver is a build that the #1 Pantheon in the world right now is running. Keegan, he's been running this quite a bit recently, having really good success on it. Really good build into bruisers or tank top laners. If you're going up against a squishy top laner or the whole enemy team is very squishy, then you can still go for the lethality setup of Youmuu's Duskblade, Black Cleaver. But if you are up against a bruiser top, or if you are up against a tank top laner, then the Trinity Force into Black Cleaver is going to suit you very well in those situations. And then as for the rest of the top lane, I would be staying away from Aatrox and Akali. Both champions got hit pretty hard with nerfs in 9.18. Both champions are pretty much in the gutter right now, so if your main goal is to climb, I would be staying away from those 2 champions. For the rest of my S tier here, a lot of good bruiser picks. You got your Kled, Darius, Jax, Pantheon, Alawi, all super strong in this patch. Shen is an extremely underrated top lane pick, does very well into a lot of bruiser picks like Riven, Renekton, can do pretty good into Jax even. If you are looking for a strong AP top lane pick, definitely lean towards the Mordekaiser. This champion's been super strong since his rework, so I would be adding more to your champion pool for top lane if you do not have an AP top laner in there. So moving on to the jungle now, Evelynn is going to be making her way back up into S tier. So it seems like it wasn't too long ago that Evelynn was in S tier. She dropped down to A tier, got buffed again, right back up into S tier. So Evelynn, with the buff she got in this patch, is a much stronger pick now. I originally thought she was only going to be getting 1 buff to her ultimate to increase the percent damage, but she actually ended up getting buffs to the AP ratio on her ultimate and to the base damage as well. So a lot more buffs than I expected, and she is definitely one of the stronger junglers now in 9.18. Now Lee Sin also did end up getting buffed in this patch, but in my opinion the buffs were not quite enough to jump him up into S tier. Now for the rest of the S tier champions, Nunu did end up getting nerfed in this patch here, so he's definitely not the standalone #1 jungler anymore. In previous patches he had around like a 55-56% win rate. He was just absolutely destroying solo queues, so that's not going to be the case anymore in this patch now. I would even say that Mundo is now the #1 standalone best tank jungler that you can play here in 9.18. So Mundo's a pick that has been played a lot over in Korea past couple of patches. That's where it really started to see a lot of traction. It's made its way over to NA and EU a little bit in solo queue, still not being played a ton, but it is having a lot of success in solo queue for sure. It's just a jungler that's super easy to execute, kind of similar to Nunu in a way. You're going to deal a ton of damage as well once you do reach the mid to late game while being extremely tanky. So Mundo's just a pretty brain dead pick that you can have a lot of success with right now, so I definitely recommend picking him up for solo queue. For the rest of the junglers, there not too much new to say about them. They've been S tier for multiple patches in a row now, so if you want to play a 1v9 hard carry jungler, if you want the game to be in your hands, then picking up Hecarim, Elise, or Kha'Zix are all going to be very good options. If you do want to play more so of a utility jungler that can still carry for sure, then the Jarvan is going to be a great pick. The Vi are going to be great picks. They do provide their team with great engage, the ability to start fights very easily, so if you do end up getting ahead in the early game with the Vi or with the Jarvan, then you can do a really good job at just looking for engages and closing out the game quickly. Now moving on to the mid lane, pretty similar to where it was last patch, but Pantheon is going to be moving up into S tier. So Pantheon in the mid lane is another pick that's kind of been like coming out of nowhere the past few patches here. A lot of pro players have been playing him in solo queue in the mid lane, having a lot of success with the pick. He just does great into a lot of most pick mid laners right now. Really good into Zed, really good into Echo, Katarina, Ahri, Qiyana, Kassadin, Talon. There's just a lot of matchups that Pantheon can thrive in 9.18. the main reason to why he can do so well in the mid lane is because he does a great job at poking out melee champions pretty easily, and then when he does want to go in for a trade when he is level 3, he goes in for a trade, hits his W, hits his Q, and then when the enemy tries to trade back into him, he just uses his E to negate all of their burst damage, and he can just negate a ton of damage in the laning phase with that ability. A lot of mid lane champions are more so reliant on their burst damage, so if you can use your E at the correct time, then you can just block pretty much their full combo if you do use it correctly. And as for the rest of the mid lane meta, Echo did end up getting buffed in this patch, but in my opinion, not enough to jump him up into S tier. Main reason is because Echo's laning phase is still pretty weak. It did not get changed really at all by those buffs. It got like a little bit stronger with the buffs, but the W stun duration there really isn't going to help him in his 1v1 matchups. The mana cost decrease there helps him out a little bit, but if you're going up against a Talon, a Kassadin, a Fizz, you're still gonna get stomped in the laning phase. The changes really didn't affect that at all. So even though he does get a little bit stronger in the mid to late game, because his early game did not get addressed at all, I just can't jump him up into S tier for 9.18. Aurelion Sol is definitely a pick to look out for though in this patch, probably going to be one of the most sleeper OP picks here in 9.18. The buff to his health in this patch really going to help him out in the laning phase there. I think Aurelion Sol, once people have finally understood how to play the new Sol with the Electrocute, with the new build of like Rylai's into Spellbinder, he is going to be seeing a lot more success. So if you do want to pick up Sol in this patch, he could actually be an S tier champion. He's played very little right now in this patch though, so it's kind of difficult to tell how strong he actually is, but I definitely think Aurelion Sol is worth picking up now in 9.18. For the rest of my S tier picks, there are Talon Zed, very good AD assassins, Kassadin and Fizz, great AP assassins for this patch. You want to play a strong early game mid lane champion right now, then definitely look to prioritize the Rumble, the Pantheon, or the Talon. You want to play a consistent mid lane pick who's not really going to be able to snowball the early game super hard, but is always going to be useful. The Ahri and the Malzahar are going to be very good picks to pick up in 9.18. So moving down to the bot lane, first taking a look at AD carry, pretty big shakeup in this patch. Xayah and Kai'Sa are both going to be dropping out of S tier with the nerfs they did receive in 9.18. Misfortune getting buffed, and then Ashe is also going to be making her way back up into S tier. So with Caitlyn getting buffed in this patch, she's now going to be one of the strongest AD carry picks, if not the strongest. And the one answer you do have to Caitlyn in the laning phase and throughout the game, or a pick that can do pretty well into her, is the Ashe pick. So Ashe does get stronger here with the result of Caitlyn getting better and her seeing more play in 9.18. Misfortune with the buff she did receive and with the other AD carries getting nerfed is going to be jumping up into S tier. The Kleptomancy there on the Misfortune is something that is starting to pick up a lot of traction in solo queue. It does do very well on the champion. Your Q actually does give you a proc of Kleptomancy, so you can get quite a few Klepto procs off in the laning phase, especially if you are in an aggro matchup and you can be looking to play super aggressive. Now, two ADs I would like to prioritize the most in this patch would be the Caitlyn and the Jhin. Both these AD carries were already strong picks in 9.17. They got buffed here in 9.18, so they're getting even stronger. Both do have very good synergies with a lot of the most picked supports right now. Honestly, pretty much all these AD carries here in the S tier do have great synergies with the most picked supports. All these AD carries have the potential to have a very good laning phase. All can snowball the laning phase super hard. All these ADs have some sort of either CC that they can use to follow up with their support, or some really good burst damage they can use to follow up. So I really like the AD carry meta right now in this patch. I think you can have a lot of success by playing AD carry right now just because of the AD carries that are the strongest and the way the support meta is in 9.18. And then to round it all out for the support role, expect the meta down in the support role to stay pretty much as to where it was in 9.17. So we did not see a single nerf or a single buff to any support champion in 9.18. I still think the meta right now though down in the support role is great if you are looking to climb for solo queue. Really good hard carry support picks right now. If you want to be able to snowball the lane out of control, if you want to take the lane into your own hands and have the ability to carry, I think this meta is great for support. Any of these hook supports, the Pike, the Thresh, the Nautilus, or the Blitz, if you get that one hook off in the laning phase, you are going to be able to take over the lane and snowball the lane super hard. The Zyra there, great pick now after the buff she got last patch. Really good laning phase. Her all-in at level 6 is extremely good, and you're gonna do most damage a lot of the time with Zyra down in the support role, so you still do have very good carry potential even though you are playing her as a support. Leona there, her level 2 all-in can be super deadly if you can can get that level 2 all-in, burn summoners, or even get a kill. You can take over the lane with that champion. Bard, one of the best roaming supports in the game. I'd say that if you can play a good Bard right now, if you're a very good Bard player, he is one of the best, if not the best supports for 9.18. And then for the Janna pick, she's definitely not going to 1v9 carry, at least as hard as these other support picks are. She's a little bit more reliant on her team doing well and her team getting fed in order for her to succeed, but I'd say that Janna definitely the best support at just supporting her team, keeping her team alive, being able to peel for her AD carry in team fights. If you want to play a support like that, then Janna is definitely the best that you can play here in 9.18. So that is going to be all for this video, guys. Those are the strongest champions for every single role in patch 9.18. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, then be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you have yet to already. So thanks for watching. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you in my next video.